Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get
Everybody in
ourselves
listening
a
land
treat.
and viewing land. Well, it's not really listening. I got rid of it on iTunes actually, but here we are. This is Cinerama, our special summer edition episode. We watched Fall Guy, the hit summer movie. You might be saying, "Hey guys, why are Pratik and his parents wearing sunglasses indoors? That's not cool." No, we think it's cool, right? You think it's cool, right?
Yeah.
We wear sunglasses indoors. In the movie,
Summer, and
it's summer.
We watched the Fall Guys.
And Fall Guy, Ryan Gosling, you know Ryan Gosling, who has like zero charisma ever. No, he has all the charisma. He's very charismatic,
Very charming.
maybe too charming. He charmed us, but he wore sunglasses for most of the movie.
Most of the stuntmen
wear sunglasses, yeah. So we thought we'd wear sunglasses for however long before our eyes start. If we get headache, we'll take them off. We'll see. But this is our summer edition of Cinerama with Papa and Mama, or Mama and Papa, however we. The labels are wrong, but okay. So we saw the movie, and here's our thing: we saw the movie together, which I think it's been good. I know there's been a few movies that we didn't see together, but we watched this movie together. And initial thoughts going into the movie. Do you guys like Ryan? I know you guys like Ryan Gosling. I know you've seen him in some action movies as well.
But I thought maybe mostly because I think when we saw those La La Land and Barbie are more of a musicals and romantic type, but he has a repertoire of quite a few movies, action thriller, crime thriller. So, like some of them, Brand or something. It was
the movie
Gray Man. There was some action.
Red Band. With the Rock. Right. I think he's in that one. Yeah. Whereas you know more from the La La Land and romantic.
He was in Disney Mickey Mouse Club.
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, he was in Mickey Mouse Club with Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake. Yeah. That's how he started. He was just a little child actor,
Right, and he was also a roommate of Justin Timberlake.
He was also, a lot of people forget, he was in that one of those sentimental romantic movies, The Notebook. He was he was more of a heartthrob, romantically.
I think he really became popular in the 2010 onwards, that decade. He had almost one movie definitely
every year. He had done that movie Half Nelson about drug addicts.
Yeah.
He started doing more Oscar dramas. He did that movie Drive, which is more action-y.
Yeah. Also, he was a stuntman, motorbike stuntman. In which movie?
The Place Beyond the Pines.
That's a lot of people don't know. He's playing a stuntman in this movie, but he can draw from his real experiences. So he had done a lot of motorcycle stunts himself, and I think that's highlighted in the movie. If you guys watch Fall Guy, you'll see that they do talk a lot about, towards the end of the movie, that he is doing, the actual actor Ryan Gosling is doing some of his own stunts, but he has a stunt team, obviously. But
most of them, they do some riding,
but he did do some riding,
and all. People do mostly. But I think as long as we are speaking on the stuntman, I think Mom would say that more like Tom Cruise. I think
Tom
she said
does
most of his stunts.
And also Angelina Jolie.
Angelina did a lot of. She's done some action movies. Those Tomb Raider movies.
Jackie Chan obviously.
Schwarzenegger does his own stuff.
Yeah, but he used to, right?
No, I think Jackie Chan was famous for a while. It was kind of like
for a while. Yeah, he was actually doing some stunts for some other actors, and then he became
his own star.
Yeah, Rush Hour. He did so many.
He did a lot. If you see the bloopers for Rush Hour, he's the one getting caught, getting hurt. Yeah. That's our thing. It's not just about doing the stunts. It's about, hey, how do I avoid getting hurt?
This is actually a movie. Is salute to all the stuntmen.
Salute to the stuntman, the people behind the scenes.
Stuntmen and women of the world. And I think this film had 5 stuntmen.
Yeah, so I believe Ryan Gosling, despite, I know he did a few of his stunts in this movie, but I still think he had a 5-person stunt team. And
I think I had.
Well, basically all other, because of all the actors too.
All the actors had some. I know the end. We're not really spoiling, but if you stay through the credits, you will see the stunt people. Stunt. They get their due.
Recognition.
You a cool guy with cool sunglasses, but nowhere to hold them. We got the product for you. It's Cool guy sunglass holder. See? Look how many sunglasses I can hold. All of them are cool. And when you get it, it comes with a certified warranty guarantee that says you will hold these sunglasses and you own all the sunglasses and you didn't borrow any of the sunglasses from mom's purse. No. These are all your sunglasses that you are holding with the Cool Guy Sunglass Holder. Get yours today. Now the exclusive sponsor of Cinerama with Papa and Mama, and no one's going to judge you for borrowing your mom's sunglasses ever again. So we've been talking a little bit about Ryan Gosling and stunts, but now getting into the movie, did you guys watch the trailer beforehand or any commercials for it, or did you go in cold to the movie?
No,
I think
actually, all
we-
I knew it was about stunts.
No, but which
Stuntman.
movie did we go together? I think there were some. They were showing
I
previews.
think maybe
about the Fall
Monkey
Guy.
Man, they might have
Yeah,
shown
I
Fall
think they
Guy,
showed
yeah.
in Monkey Man.
So that's another thing too. This one we were not suggested. We saw the preview and we just thought, it'd be good summer action movie kind of. It's doing well in the theaters. Although I would say our theater was how full was our theater? Not even.
I think
half.
Memorial Day weekend was more.
Well,
but
no, we
yeah.
should talk about this. You guys went to try to see it on your own, and there were no seats.
No seats.
Yeah.
We went there, and that has happened very rarely.
Rarely,
And the house full.
because normally I get the seats.
That
and
was
everything.
on Monday, the Memorial Day.
Yeah, you
In
itself.
tried
fact,
to
no,
watch.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they were all full, and
All
that's
full.
why we
Yeah.
went on Tuesday and we
So-
got seats.
How was it difficult using that kiosk? Because that's kind of the thing now. You
Yeah,
either
we
buy
went
them or
there.
phone.
Yeah, I know it
we kind
shows
of
because the
figured
second
out,
step is which show when you punch in the show, then you have to select your seat.
Select
There
the
So
were
we
no
didn't
seats.
get. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and they was like take the next show, and it was
Yeah.
10:40 in the night, so we came back, and then we went with you.
With you the next day, yeah. So we went into, but I would say our theater was maybe half full.
Right.
But we also went during the day, before
Yeah.
they're full. But I do think at night people have been going and watching this movie. It's been
Right.
getting, it's
But
been getting
it-
very popular.
Yeah, I'm sure people are enjoying this movie, and also it's probably a box office hit.
Yeah, it's definitely getting more box office traction than And again, you have the two stars. You have Ryan Gosling and then Emily Blunt, who a lot of people remember last year. They were famously, Ryan Gosling was in Barbie and Emily was in Oppenheimer. So they had that little Barbie Oppenheimer competition going. So now they're both in the same movie. So it's a little bit
Right.
different.
Actually, both were nominated for Oscar.
For those two movies, yeah. Ryan getting one of the few Oscar nominations for that movie.
But I think he did a brilliant job in this movie.
Yeah.
Very charming, very casual.
He's basically in Barbie was more of ensemble, whereas he's the lead.
Lead, right.
I would say Emily is kind of.
Oh yeah, he's the lead, right?
You see him introspective,
Right, it's his story.
His story, yeah. And I think it's also a little bit, there's that, a lot of these movies are about, hey, you're going through a tough time, redemption. It's a redemption story as well.
I think when these stars reach stardom, they cannot take any criticism, and that is the story of this.
With
Tom
Ryder, who's played by Aaron
Right.
Johnson, who you may have seen in the Kick-Ass movies. I think he's in the Kingsman movies as well, British actor. And he's doing. Yeah, I will say I was not a fan of his. He was attempting to do like a American accent.
Kingsman, but he was not the lead role.
He's not lead. He's the supporting, but he's a British UK actor.
Yeah,
But his UK accent was spilling through really badly. He didn't do a good job hiding.
and Ryan Gosling is Canadian, born in London, Ontario.
London, Ontario. Yeah, I didn't know there were two Londons. I learned that.
Remember when we go to
Toronto.
Toronto, you have to
on
go
the way,
through
there
the-
is
yeah.
In fact,
I think
there's
that's where
in
we
London, Toronto. I mean, Canada, they have the safari also over there.
We did the safari. Yeah. That was
So
good.
basically, he's a Canadian actor, came to Disney to do his childhood.
But I feel like he's been here more than half his life now, kind of like you
Yeah.
guys. So like he lost his Canadian accent.
Yeah.
But so we go into the movie, we're watching, and again, it's a story. You see this stuntman who goes through a tough time, and he has to kind of build himself back up again. It's kind of like a redemption story. Hey, tough times, but you have to build your stuff back up. So I think those are good messages. And it's again, this movie. There's a lot of I don't know how much you're familiar are with this thing called meta humor, where they're making fun of the movie within the movie, because if you don't know, he's a stuntman within a sci-fi movie,
Right.
but they're commenting on the actual movie that we're seeing in front of us. So there's a lot of in jokes or outside jokes and all, and I thought that was creative because you don't see that too much. It's very hard to pull off. A lot of movies have tried that. The
Different plot themes and going back and forth.
different plot themes going back and forth, and I was curious, did you guys like the humor of the movie, or was
I
it
really
overkill?
liked the movie. It was also
Oh,
a love story.
Love story, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was always drawn
That
to
love
this
story
girl.
was basically going back and forth.
Back and forth, yeah.
And also his messages, when I do this, it hurts. You
Yeah.
know, so it's a very big compliment to these stuntmen. They take the fall.
And they don't get the credit. They're the
And they
fall
don't
guy.
get- Yeah, they really are pretending that they are not getting hurt.
But then they are
but
getting
they
hurt,
are
yeah.
getting hurt.
Yeah, you see that with either stunt performers, the daredevils, with the
Yeah,
circus
basically.
performers, with pro wrestlers, all these different people. They're doing these things for the entertainment, but they do experience some pain. You know,
Definitely there's some bodily injuries and all.
but they have to
that.
hide. They have to keep
hide.
going because their money is made on the more you do it.
Not only that, it's a danger to their life every time they do a stunt. Imagine getting set on fire. Things can go
But
wrong.
these days, they have moved a lot of technology wise, so
Yeah.
it's
They can do
the
more
safety
things,
and all
safety. Yeah, but at the same time, we read
Yeah.
there are
They
definitely
push the envelope too. You know?
there are stories of movies, some people dying.
Yeah,
You know,
right, yeah.
famously Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, died on set because
Yeah.
they used the fake gun. But then it was, so things had. There was a famous case with Alec Baldwin. where
Alec was still going on.
Yeah.
still going on.
And not only that, I'm surprised they don't do everything by computer generated.
There's a CGI.
To a degree, but it also
concept,
depends what the movie
yeah,
wants,
yeah.
what the studio wants, what the director wants to do. A
Yeah.
lot of directors are trying to go back to the
Old
old school
school.
way of doing it, but the studios are fighting them. Oh, we want it done this way. Do this.
The insurance policy of this.
There's a lot of
company,
insurance
Yeah,
policy.
Steve
Basically,
McQueen
all
did
this,
all
yes.
his stunts.
Yeah.
And although the tough guys like Clint Eastwood, they looked very tough, but they never did their own.
They
stunts.
No, but then in the movie, it depends on what you're
Depends what
depicting,
you're
yeah,
trying to do.
right.
But then I
Yeah,
will
art
say-
cases and all, yeah, you can do.
You see the relationship in this movie between the star and his stuntman.
That's
Famously, where there's an accident that Ryan Gosling's character
yeah, we
has.
don't want to give away. Or you
We won't give
yeah.
away, but we'll say that he asked, did Tom text you? And he sent me, like, he didn't even really check in on him. To me, that's the highlight of that. That you
That's
see,
what the stardom does to these people.
They don't think about it.
care about what's behind
But some of
the
them
scene.
they do because they also show part of it that in his contract he listed him as the stuntman. you
and
know,
that actually, so I
that's
want to
actually
talk about
so-
that a little bit, that
Yeah.
the relationship between a star and the
And
stuntman.
the stuntman,
You see
yeah.
a little bit now, Bruce Willis, famously, he's going through health stuff right now, but his stuntman went and visited him.
Yeah.
And I guess Bruce Willis had a few stuntmen, especially from Die Hard days, that he
Die Hard days,
kept the
yeah,
relationship with.
relationship.
And then some of them are even with him in the later Die
Yeah,
Hards.
yeah.
So what I want to ask you guys is, do you think this Tom Ryder character who's rude to his stuntman, do you think that's based on anyone? Do you think that's maybe just a story? You hear about some actors being rude to their stuntman, but must come from some real life, I think.
I
I
think
don't
so.
know the inside stories of these
Yeah,
stars.
but let's guess.
I'm
Who do you
sure-
think? Like, I would think Tom Cruise is nice to his stunt people. You know,
I mean, he does his own stunts
They-
too.
but
so
he
he
still
appreciates-
acts.
Yeah,
He
so
doesn't
I'm
do-
sure he.
I know for a
appreciates-
fact Tom Cruise does some stunts, but he's not doing
Like
all.
on motorbikes and all, but
Yeah,
he's
but
not
I'm just
chases,
saying
yeah.
that maybe he appreciates because he does.
He
some.
does.
Yeah.
That's a
You
good
know, in
point.
that
That when you
movie,
do actually,
Cameron Diaz and him on the motorbike
Yeah.
in Spain,
Yeah.
he did himself.
but then maybe he became more appreciative because he's doing
Because
more.
he's doing and he knows how.
You know,
bad
later
it
in the
is.
movie, I'm not giving away anything, but again, people are watching. If you're getting some spoilers, you'll see. But there's a scene where Ryan Gosling takes Tom
Takes
Ryder
him, yeah.
to show him this stuff.
What it is. See?
And I think that was a very good. As much as the movie, there were a lot of factors in the movie, a lot of scenes.
That was part of the storyline.
I think that's
Yeah.
part of the storyline is that these actors, I think all of us as audience and actors, we're not appreciative of the work they do. You have to show the work they do. You have to show how much.
And this, the best experience I got from this, like they show actually some of the stunts how they do. You know, falling
Yeah,
this
so
way.
we
That so
get the
they
inside
don't
of
want
it.
to say inside all the thing technology.
But they're
and
showing
how
a little
But they
bit.
show,
You
yeah.
have to
everything.
show, yeah.
And how they shoot these with the truck in the behind. And the
It's not easy. It's a very grueling.
Yeah.
I think this is a good. It's
and
also
how many takes they have to do.
multiple take. We saw when he's getting thrown into that rock 5-6 times.
Oh, this is not enough. I want
And
more
getting
oomph.
set on
No, the
fire.
worst I've seen. You know, I've done a little bit of I'm not trying to say I'm this big shot, but I've done a few extra things, and I've seen how they have to be like they could do the perfect take, but something was wrong with lighting or some technology. So even if you did your whole thing right, they still
Yeah.
need you to do again.
Yeah.
And that's something.
Retake.
So he literally was thrown into the rock in that one scene. She goes, "Oh, there wasn't good lighting, or that was in the background. You have to do it
But
again."
somebody else wasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
If somebody's taking any revenge, they'll make them
Make them do 50 times, which she does.
And also set them on fire.
Multiple times, yeah. So you have all that you're dealing with. Then you throw in there is a true romance story there between the I forget Emily Blunt's character's name, but
Jodie.
Jodie, yeah. She's
Marino.
because they've known each other, so we can give the backstory a little bit on this. That he's been a stuntman for multiple movies. She started out as like a camera operator, but then she gets her big break in this movie. So he's kind of come up with her a little bit. Like they both were.
But that plot was good because ultimately she finds out,
what's going on,
the story.
and we don't have to go to give away that part. But you see that
And there's a dog in the movie too.
There is a dog in the
Pet
movie.
lovers.
French, speaking French. He
A
only understands
French-speaking
French.
dog is in this movie
Yeah,
too.
so if you love dogs, you must see this movie.
I believe no animals were harmed on the set of that movie.
Yeah, and he's a happy Lee at the end, you know.
Happily, yeah, they take him with them. Yeah.
Nothing
And he's got a
happened to him.
pretty
Big
like
role.
a prominent role towards the end, you know.
So I kind of like this movie.
Yeah, so
a lot.
so we have this movie where there's romance, there's action, there's comedy. Now we talked a little bit about this in the other, like something like Challengers we've seen, where there's like dark comedy moments. There are a few moments of levity. This movie to me is half. It's pretty much half action, half comedy, 25% romance, 1/4 romance. Do you think that's overkill of genres, or do you think that's what people want to see today? Half and half, hybrid movies.
I think
What do you think people
there
really
is
want to see?
something for everyone,
Yeah,
and which is what it is. If family goes to see this movie,
yeah.
then they all will enjoy
Yeah,
something.
Enjoy. So you think that's better that movies
Better,
are like
yeah.
that? Do you?
Yeah, it appeals all kind of people
Yeah.
who like action. Some of them who don't. Romance is there. So basically that.
It was a very delightful, nice film from start to finish. You walk out with a smile.
Mm.
The ending is perfect, I think. With a big salute to all the stuntmen
All the
and
stuff.
women of
It's
the
a good
world.
insight into Hollywood too.
And I
Big
think
budget, big summer kind of movie feel.
Movie.
You know.
And that's why House was full in
Those
all
other
of
movies,
the-
yeah, not our showing, but yeah, the other
Yeah.
the house was showing. I don't know, like I noticed I was laughing a little at some of the things, but I felt like you guys were kind of laughing too, but I didn't feel like the rest of the crowd in our audience was.
Yeah, some
laughing.
people don't
Understand.
Kind of
Or
express
sometimes they don't want to
themselves,
be
yeah.
loud, or
I mean, I don't, yeah, maybe.
No, meaning just a little bit more,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, people are quieter.
But I think it's an amusing thriller.
Yeah.
And nothing like too much violence that way, like
No.
blood and all that. So it's a nice film. It's a nice ending. I loved it. And Ryan Gosling is very.
He's very charismatic. I wasn't always. I saw Drive.
Yeah.
I like Drive. I know he's in the new Blade Runner. That new Blade
Like
Runner that came out.
2049.
From
you know.
a few
But
years
that
ago.
was a 2017.
Yeah, that was a bit wild. That's what I'm saying. I've started to get to know him a little bit, but I have to admit, from a comedy side, he can do comedy acting very well.
His new movie, I think, project is Wolfman coming in 2020.
Yeah, I think he's trying to do something with Wolfman. I like some of the supporting roles too. That Stephanie Sue, who was in the Everything Everywhere movie, she plays that assistant of the actor. She's involved in that. There's a very big sequence involving a garbage truck.
Yeah.
And a lot of good
Garbage
action
truck,
sequences,
right.
a lot of fight sequences. You pretty much get every type of stunt set piece in this movie. You get fire, you get fighting sequence, you get boat sequence. If you're a fan of Miami Vice, there's a lot of salute to the 80s in this movie too. Now, because Fall Guy is loosely based on the old TV show.
Right.
So you get a lot of nostalgia in there. There's a reference to, I don't want to give away what the Miami Vice reference is, but if you're familiar with Miami Vice, there are throwback moments to that.
Right.
Now, what did you guys think of that? Do you think there's too much? Are we obsessed with nostalgia and remakes too much? Or do you like the little touches of the nostalgia in the movie? Was it
Actually,
over?
Miami Vice was a very prominent
80s.
80s
Yeah.
thing. And
Don
they-
Johnson.
Don Johnson, yeah.
And
We've
they did,
talked about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a significant thing in this
Yeah.
movie. Lee Majors was, he showed up, he's in
He
the
showed up.
cast.
He's in the
Yeah,
cast.
well,
No, we can
No,
say he was in
he's-
there.
He's in the cast.
He made
He was
that
the
was a
original.
TV series. It wasn't a movie. I said just like Miami
Yeah,
Vice
so
also.
we can talk a little bit about
Yeah.
the Fall Guy, the TV show, a little bit. So he was the star of Fall Guy. Now, is the TV show, how similar to a lot of our younger viewers may not know the TV show? What are the differences, the TV show than the movie, in your guys' opinion?
Well, basically, it was a TV show, and they portrayed as they were stuntmen, so they wanted to make more money. So
Because
then
they weren't
would-
making the
money
movie
on the
was
side.
Were
Right,
they
yes,
TV
yes.
stuntmen or more movie? Was that the
No, they
difference?
were stuntmen for the actors. So
Yeah.
in the movie.
Movies.
In the
But in the show,
Yeah.
they depict that they wanted to make some more
Extra
money
money,
on the
'cause it
side.
wasn't making
right.
money, yeah.
So that's where they would go after bail jumpers or
Yeah.
people.
They were like bounty hunters.
Bounty
right, or
hunters,
something.
right? Yeah.
But
so
that's
how-
kind of what this movie is. There's the stunts. He's using his stunt work for real life.
real life, right? Yeah, basically. So that was the main thing, to just make more money, because I think now stuntmen, I'm pretty sure they are paid a lot more.
Pay a lot
But
more.
I think
Also,
in
the
the
other-
80s also.
Here's the other thing in the 80s that it's a big thing right now. The
Yeah.
healthcare debate. Like in the 80s,
Yeah,
they were getting
80s
paid, but they weren't
don't-
covering health insurance.
Yeah.
Now you are the studio.
Right, yeah.
It's a legal thing. They have
right,
to
they
insure
have
you.
to give full
Yeah.
insurance.
I think they probably fought for it.
They had to fight for it. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big thing back then. But in the 80s,
Yeah.
they weren't getting.
That
so,
was all
so you
over.
get your pay, but then you're still covering your expenses.
Yeah.
Now at least your pay isn't going directly straight to health insurance.
And no safety people,
No safety.
regulations.
No
and all.
regulation.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that was
But
the
I
whole
think in
thing.
old time there were less people who wanted to be a stuntman, but now maybe
No, there were some, because they
But
were
you have to look at inflation, economy, what movies were making and costing back then versus
then
what movies
versus
cost
now,
today. Yeah.
it's almost
It's a
four
$1 billion
times.
industry,
Right.
and now the studios are more
Budget is
insured.
more.
But-
And the studios have more of a budget now. Those type of movies back then didn't have as much.
Yes.
And TV shows did budget.
I mean, as long as we are talking that, take that other one, Blues Brothers in
Yeah.
1980. That was also shot in
Yeah.
Chicago.
But that was a lower budget,
but
because they
it
wanted
exceeded
R-rated.
the budget.
It exceeded, yeah. But
But
There were some other reasons for exceeding the
Exceeding the
budget.
budget. Well, there were
That
other-
was
well, there were
Jim
also-
Belushi's
yeah,
habit.
the John Belushi, some of his habits were half the budget, but
Yeah.
that's a whole other conversation. But to get back to the Fall Guy TV show versus movie, now you watched the TV show quite a bit. Did you see similarities? Was it a funny TV show, or was it more similar?
They
to
had some fun, but mostly action.
But you
again,
would
that
say
show.
it was more serious than the movie that we saw. Or would you
Yeah,
say
I don't think.
because this felt like a comedy. This movie felt like a true comedy.
Now I don't remember all the. It ran for 5 seasons. Maybe
Yeah.
some of the shows or the might be more comedy oriented.
Yeah.
Some they had some romantic also, because
Yeah.
there was another lady
It was a stunt.
female assistant
Yeah.
too. So there were some mix of everything. But with the shows you can manipulate. If this
Yeah.
storyline is not going, then they can give a
could do
different
something.
story. Yeah.
So would you recommend the show to, if our younger listeners don't really know what's going on with that show, should they go check it out?
Oh yeah, at least get the hang of it.
Get the
See,
hang of it,
yeah.
You
definitely.
certainly don't need it to know the movie, but if you
Yeah.
are curious,
That
and
how
like the
things
movie,
were different in the
back
80s.
then.
That's the truth.
The stunts were not as elaborate, maybe.
No,
Now
but
they are
basically now
It was
the
more
more and
jumps
more
back
stunt.
then.
Yeah, jumps, car chases, and all they were there.
Now it's more fired, more dangerous. I do think this, and maybe you guys will agree. I think stunts are more dangerous now than ever.
They are more dangerous, but there are more
Safety.
technologies has
Yeah.
improved, so there are some CGI computer
There's
generated.
more
images and all, and they use that.
parameters, more protections.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's
Protection
why.
wise, I think
Yeah.
they have better gear. than
Better
that.
gear, yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't doing car chases back then. I would never even see helmets.
Helmets on,
Yeah.
yeah, nothing, yeah.
Whereas now, if you and we can talk about this in the movie, you would see the certain stunts. He would have to wear a helmet. to stunt
Helmets
that,
and all.
yeah.
So from that angle, more safety
And the
features.
cars may be more safe too.
Yeah,
The more
bigger
fire
cars,
safe, more fire safety.
safety, yeah.
More than just we have to have
The
a
same thing like you go to any Indy 500 or any
Yeah.
of this
more monster
Daytona
truck
500,
shows, any of those things.
They all are. The panel, it's no longer made, they make it with it fire resistant,
Fire resistant
the
suits.
suits.
Yeah.
The suits, so
Yeah,
it's the
Blues Brothers.
technology.
Breakaway,
They had
yeah.
too many cars destroyed and
Yeah.
chased.
Yeah, they had actually bought from the Blues Brothers 13 from California, police highway department and all, and then they mocked it to look like Morton Grove and city of Chicago,
Yeah.
that
And
car.
that-
They had 13 Bluesmobiles, they were calling it, So they needed that many, and they had a 24-hour repair shop on the side to fix it, because the way cars are being destroyed.
Yeah, the way they're
And I think Blues Brothers is famous for that. When it was released, it was one of the maximum cars destroyed.
And
Because
that-
they-
Yeah, it had the
They
record.
hold the record.
Blues Brothers had the record for.
I think it's been broken now, but I think
Yeah,
they,
I
they
remember
still might be second or at least top
Well,
five.
I think they were. You know what they got beat by? I think the sequel to Blues Brothers. So that's a
Oh,
whole
okay,
other
so
thing,
it's
yeah.
like a sequel.
But yeah, I think it was like something like 83 cars or 100 cars. or
105 cars was that.
something. A record, yeah, for Blues Brothers. That was such a great conversation we just had. But you need to check out our new sponsor. It's unnamed movie theme park souvenirs that don't have anybody's name on them and don't make anyone feel bad. You need to get yours today. Are you a purveyor of movie theme parks in Florida and you go there with your parents and you go to the personalized keychain rack and they have everybody's name on them except your own, and then you feel bad and then they try to give you something to make you feel better, but you know in your heart you don't feel better? Get your second prize souvenir today. And it's not personalized, so no one feels bad. There is no xenophobia at any Florida movie theme park ever. So get yours today, now a sponsor of Cinerama with Papa and Mama. Now back to our very exciting conversation that was taped literally minutes ago and was not taped 40 minutes ago. These commercials are taped exactly at the same time of the podcast. Please stop writing that in the comments now. Now back to that. We were talking about Guinness World Records for Blues Brothers, but the Fall Guy actually has the world record as well. So they were filming in Australia, which, by the way, it's funny because the movie is set in Australia and it's filmed in. They actually kept it filming where it actually was, which is that never happens. Like if you see a movie in New York, it's probably filmed in Toronto or Boston. They never.
Or Malaysia.
Malaysia, yeah. Monkey Man was supposed to be in India. I was in Malaysia the whole time. And if you see the extras, you're like, those don't look like Indian people. Why are the Indian people all orange for some reason? They're looking like Oompa Loompas. It's a little weird. But Fall Guy had the record. There was the stunt driver so Ryan Gosling did do some of his stunts, but he had a stunt team and he had a stunt driver. This stunt driver rolled the car 8.5 times in one roll, which is not. That's not. I think they did that a few in the James Bond movies, but that's pretty, unheard of to roll it 8.5 times and be living.
That was in the Guinness.
The Guinness record.
And I think they did that. That's why on the sand.
Sand,
They were doing that, so it's less
impact. Yeah, he's not doing that on concrete. That might be a little dangerous. But to get kind of final thoughts of Fall Guy now, the movie. We expressed that it's action, kind of a little bit of something for everybody. So you would recommend it to people, but. One thing I will say was I think the run time, it said about 2 hours 15 minutes. Definitely, it felt like towards the end there were just like they had to throw in every stunt set piece. Did you feel there was like action, but did you feel like it was overkill at the end?
No, I kind of liked it because it was about stunts.
So you did not mind the overkill.
They had to show that
the helicopter thing.
everything.
We don't want to give too much,
No,
but
the different set
things,
pieces.
Set
Yeah.
pieces, yeah.
But
They
I
have to
liked
do
it,
that.
and we could see a little bit more of Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, and also
the credits were showing. Now, I'm not giving away the credits, but they do pay tribute to stunt people.
right.
That is definitely.
And they have to do that.
And they showed the last scene after the credit, which is a good thing. So everyone had to sit through
They had to sit, they
and
had to
see
do that.
who was
Lee
the
Majors
stars
there,
people and all.
People were
So
there.
at the end, they had the last scene after the credit. That was the best part of this also, that people should be appreciated.
This was actually, I think, remember the director and Ryan Gosling when they started the movie.
They also did
They did the
yeah.
same. Yeah.
So the director of the movie, he also got his start as a
As a
stuntman.
stuntman, right?
David Leitch. and they talked about that. This is a
About
tribute to
this,
Stuntman, and
yeah,
we
so
wanted
the
you
movie
guys
is
to see it,
dedicated
and they
to
want
that.
you to see it in theater also.
And
So they-
David's another movie, Bullet Train, we saw together.
we did see Bullet Train together
So
too.
he
Yeah.
does good movies. you know.
Good action set pieces in
Set
Bullet
pieces,
Train as well. yeah.
Right.
And I believe Aaron Taylor Johnson is in Bullet Train. He's the guy who dies in Bullet Train. He's the guy with the
Oh
accent.
yeah.
So we've seen him in a few movies now. But no, this is very, very good. I think it was a good film. Yeah, maybe ending a little overkill, but you know, it's got a little bit for everything. So definitely highly recommended. You know.
And Chicago is known for two very good stunts in the city. One is
Yeah.
car jumping from the Marina Tower.
So you actually, so a lot of people don't know this. They think my parents are boring, and most of the reason we do this podcast is to prove that you guys aren't boring. You were at work so tell people you used to work at
Yeah.
Merchandise Mart.
Yeah,
right?
we used to go to Merchandise Mart.
You used to work there. Right?
Yeah, there was
Your
showroom.
designer showroom.
Designer,
Yeah.
and you would help.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
go
so
there
we were
sometimes.
in city,
Yeah.
and this stunt was happening. The car jumping from
Marina
Marina
Towers.
Tower.
Because
parking
Marina
lot.
Tower is right by.
Right
For our
there.
Chicago listeners, if you go by the Riverwalk, you can see Marina Tower, Merchandise Mart.
And car plunged from Marina Tower into the river, and that was the stunt.
Yeah.
And it was Steve McQueen's movie Hunter.
Last movie.
Yeah.
He died
One of his
in
last movies, I think.
1979.
Mhm.
So we bought that. And
That
so-
made actually the condos prices in the Marina Towers went up after
Because
that.
of that, yeah.
Yeah, it's
because
a
it became like a
big thing.
big thing for the.
Yeah, good.
It
Maybe
was-
not good for the people staying
It
there.
was on the news,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we saw it in person. That was.
Did
the
you go
best
see
part.
that movie then?
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
of course.
I was a big Steve McQueen fan. You
And
know,
he
going
did
from
own
his
stunts
The Great
also.
Escape. You know. which
Yeah,
was
I
a
remember.
war
So, like,
movie
but a lot of those
and-
movies back then were shown more in drive-through. Would you actually still go to theater and see them?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were
Sorry.
theaters.
Would
There
Would you
were-
say the theater? What was the theater-going experience like in the '80s? Because they didn't have DVD and all back then. You had to see. So was it more full back then? Were there more energy in
I
No,
those?
no,
think they
it
were
used to be
bigger
for the
theaters.
bigger theater.
Bigger theater.
Seating,
Yeah.
Seated.
Yeah, that's what.
Seatings are very less.
Now they have made one theater
Small.
into small,
Small.
you know,
Yeah,
theater
like,
number 5,
So-
theater 6.
100 seaters back
Yeah.
then. Yeah. Could you see, or was it
Yeah.
more?
Oh,
cramped?
yeah.
See.
But it must be full showings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lot of
And,
show- yeah, they had to have
And you had to
still
wait in
5,
line,
6
longer
shows.
line.
There
and
were
all.
back-to-back
Showings.
showings also of 2 movies. You buy a ticket for 2 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, certain time they would do
Double
special,
feature.
double
Double
feature
feature,
type.
so
right.
And you would stay for both movies.
Both,
Yeah, both of them.
That's a lot of movie. That's
Yeah.
4 hours.
So there was a theater on Clark Street.
Would people leave after credits, or you would stay for credits?
No, if you're going to
Because
see the
both
double
movies,
feature,
then you have to stay
maybe
for-
you might get out and
Watch
stretch
it,
or
yeah.
have a
Yeah,
soda,
people didn't
popcorn,
stay
something
for,
like that, you know. Because we never had servers, you know.
No,
it's
like now they have server.
dining.
Also, now you have reclining seats.
seats and oh yeah,
Nothing
the
like
seats.
that.
It must have been
Nothing
tighter seats and
Oh
tougher
yeah, much
material.
tighter.
Yeah.
It
There was
wasn't
one
like that.
theater in Brickyard Mall, north side of Chicago, and on Clark Street. We have seen a lot of films, and there were always just minimum ticket for like $2.
Yeah, the prices were
$3
also
for-
nothing
Oh,
like
prices were
$20
nothing
or,
like that,
you know,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, $2. You see the two movies.
Yeah. So it's been nice to kind of talk about like the Fall Guy. You know, it was a remake of something old. We're going back to
Right,
nostalgia. The little remake of old time movies. You know, we have this little thing. This the little like clapper for the the on sets
Director's cut,
80.
right,
Yeah, the nice little throwback for everything. So it's been good to kind of have this throwback, but also talk about a modern movie, a hit movie with hit star Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt. So yeah, it's been good to
We really recommend. Thumbs up.
thumbs up and
Both hands.
both hands, thumbs up, and
Especially coming from me when I like action.
you like action and you like romance, comedy is good. So it's good. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody. Whether you have a movie theater that is reclining seats or no reclining seats, whether you have your sunglasses or don't have sunglasses, go see the movie. Well, don't wear the sunglasses in the dark. You won't be able to see the movie. But yeah, that's been our episode. Enjoy the summer. We still have some episodes coming out.
Yeah, have a great
Have a great time.
summer.
Also, if you have to recommend us a movie, we've been getting a lot of recommendations on TikTok. Email us, cineramapapamama@gmail.com. If you want us to watch a movie, we'll watch it. We can even watch, we have Netflix. We're using my sister's password so you can watch Netflix. We can watch the movies on Netflix. If you have a movie on Hulu, we have access to that. If you want us to watch a movie, we will find a way to watch it. for you
Yeah,
guys.
or should we have Max?
We don't have Max also. We have all the streamers, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's been our episode. We'll see you guys. Enjoy the summer.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.